Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's your favorite girl Favor here. If today is your first time of coming across my YouTube channel, thank you so much for stopping by. On this YouTube channel, we learn how to turn void materials into a beautiful piece. So my loves, for today we are going to be learning how to cut and sew this trendy Ankara jumbo pants. Now this pant has an elastic band and it can be adjusted because it also has an adjustable ropes. If this sounds like something you're interested in, without wasting much of your time, let's head to the tutorial proper. So guys, for today's tutorial, this is the fabric we are going to be working with. This is a pure 100% African print and I have it to be 3 yards. All right, so 3 yards should work for any body size. Now we are going to be attaching an elastic to it, and this is a 2-inch elastic band. I got this from the market, so I'll go ahead and fold our fabric. So guys, I've folded our fabric and I folded it. The wideness is 18 inches that I used. So depending on the wideness you want to use, please go ahead and do yours. Okay, so all I'm doing here is identifying the front and back of the fabric. So the next thing we're going to do is to get our basic bodice. Now I minused 2 inches for my band. Now I'm going to go ahead and mark 8 inches, which is my hip point. So your hip points can be 9 depending on the hip points you're working with. Now to get your crouch depth, you divide your hip measurements by 4. All right, whatever you have is what you're going to be using as your crouch depth. Now mine is 40 divided by 4, which will give me 10 inches. But because of the size of the pants we are working with, I am going to be adding extra 3 inches to my crouch. I'll be adding extra 3 inches. So instead of using the 10, we are going to be using 13 inches, which is going to be 7 as our crouch. I hope you understand. If your crouch is 10 inches, you add extra 3 inches if you're cutting this jumbo palazzo pants. All right, now I am marking my hip measurements. Remember, my hip divided by 4 will give me 10. Now for the wideness of my palazzo, I'm going to be adding extra 4 inches allowance to it. That is how I got this 14 that I am marking here. Now the 14, I will also extend it to the full length and then connect it. Now I'm still going to be minusing my 2 inches. When I minus the 2 inches, I will get the length of my palazzo, which is 43 inches. Please remember that I still minus my 2 inch and then I will mark extra 1 inch allowance for the hemming of the base. Now that I've gotten the wideness of the fabric we're working with, I'm just going to separate it from the main fabric just like this. All right, and then tear the other side. So after that, we are going to get our crouch extension, and to get your crouch extension, you're going to come to this your crouch measurement, divide the full length into 4. Now I've divided it into 2. Now this is the 4th one, so mine gave me 3.5. Now at this our crouch point, I will come out by that 3.5 and then I will mark it up here. Then at this point here, I will come up by 1 inch. This is to enable us get our crouch curve. This is the easiest way to get your crouch curve, and this is beginner friendly. Please take note of that. Now at this point, even if it's an elastic that I'll be adding to it, I will come in by 1/2 inch. This 1/2 inch is to help my pants balance at the front. Then I will just go ahead and curve it in like this, and then at this other parts from this our crotch point here, I will just go ahead and just curve in like 1/2 inch. This is because I want the leg of the palazzo to have a little bit of balance. I don't want it to be too wide and to be shapeless. So that is all I'm doing here. Right now, after doing that, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut through following the direction of the chalk like this. All right, now at this point I will cut it out. Okay, and then at this point I kind of go ahead and shaping down the pants. Okay, now guys, the next thing we're going to do is that I've gone ahead to place our front pattern to another fresh fabric. So this is it, folded into 2. You can see it here. So guys, in cutting out your back pattern for your pants, your back one is supposed to be 3 inches wider than your front one, and then at this upper part here is supposed to be either 2 inches or 3 inches higher at this point. I hope you understand. This is because our butt is not, our front and our back is not equal because of our butt at the back. So from this point, we'll come up by 1.5 inches, and then from here you just go ahead and connect it. At this point, when you're cutting for yourself, please, you can use your hip curve. I do not have a hip curve, that is why I connected it like this. Then at this point here, I will go ahead and add extra 2 inches round. You can see the way I'm taking it round like this, and then at this point here, I will also extend it out by 2 inches and then to the full length. Now we are going to go ahead and connect the lines. You want to make sure you're connecting the lines in a way that is not too deep. You can see the way I'm connecting it like this, not too deep. Please take note of that. And then at this point, we are going to go ahead and take the 2 inches to the full length. Now this is like this because this is a palazzo we are cutting. There are different methods of how you cut a fitted trouser and all, but for today, this is what we are cutting, and we're going to use the 2 inches to connect it. And then we're going to go ahead and connect the lines to the full length of our pants. Now, after connecting it to the full length of our pants, the next thing we are going to do is to go ahead and then cut out. All right, now at this point here, you can see that here is equal. Here you can see that here is equal, so we'll go ahead and cut through just like this, following the direction of my hand. Now after cutting it, this is the back one that we have here. Okay, I'm still trying to identify the wrong side of this fabric because it's really difficult to identify. Then we'll go ahead and join the crouch by 1/2 inch, and then do the same thing for the front one. Now before that, we'll go ahead and cut out the pocket. The length of the pocket is 12 inches and the wideness I use is 9 inches. Then at this point, I just curve this in. So just pay attention to what I am doing here and you're good to go. So this is how I achieve my pocket. This is really easy to do. This is how I achieve my pocket, and then I'll go ahead and divide them into 2, making it 4 pieces in total. Now we'll bring our front pattern. This is our front pattern. I've gone ahead to join the crouch. This is it, you can see. Now this is the front side of our pants. All right, we are going to go ahead and pick one of the pockets and then do it front side to front side. Okay, so after identifying the front of your pockets, you want to go ahead and place it on your pants. But before that, you want to come down from this point. You want to come down by 1 inch. Okay, by the time you come down by 1 inch from your waistline, you will go ahead and run a stitch on top of it first. So I will go ahead and run a stitch on it. We'll do the same thing for the other side and do the same thing for the back part as well. All right, remember it's 4 pieces of pockets that we have, so do not forget from your waist measurements, you come down by 1 inch, you run a stitch on it. All right, so I'll take it to the sewing machine, attach it, and then I will bring it back. So my loves, I've gone ahead to attach our pockets, and this is what we have. Okay, so by the time you attach it to the front side, this is what you're supposed to have. Now we're going to pick up the 2 pieces of our trouser, that is the front and the back, arrange it properly. At this point when you are joining it, you might discover that the back one is wider or bigger than the front one. It is normal. Okay, all you just need to do, use your hand and adjust it properly. All right, now from this point here, we are going to run a stitch by 1 inch like this, and then go ahead and run it the stitch to the pocket area, following the direction of my chalk, just like this. All right, and then by the time you run a stitch to this point, you extend it and close up your pocket by 1/2 inch. Now depending on the opening you want your pocket to have, so by the time you've run a stitch from the waist by 1 inch, from that 1 inch that you run a stitch, you go ahead and measure 6 inches, which is the pocket opening. Then from that 6 inches, you now run a stitch, close it up to the full length of your pants by 1 inch, just like this. Okay, so following the direction of our chalk, when you do this, you're good to go. Then at this crouch area, we are going to go ahead and join the front crouch and the back crouch together like this, and then close it up by 1/2 inch or 1 inch. By the time you close it up, you take it to the full length of your pants. All right, so you want to go ahead and do that, close it up. So I'll go ahead, close it up for us and bring it back. So my loves, I have gone ahead to close up the pant, and this is what we have. This is the pocket, this is the other pocket, this is what we have. All right, so and then at this point, this is what our crouch looks like. So I want to quickly explain something for us who would want to sew this for ready to wear or for a client. I would always advise you that before you sew your pants, please weave around your pants. It makes it look neat. Now, I've not weaved my own because of the sake of this tutorial, but it's advisable you weave your pants round before sewing it, okay? So guys, I've gone ahead now to turn the trouser to the right side, and this is what it looks like. Okay, now this is what you are supposed to have, and then this is the pocket. So this is the easiest way for you to attach your pockets. You can see that. So this is our pocket. All right, now the next thing we are going to do is to go ahead and get the round circumference of our waist. All right, so when I did mine, it gave me 53 inches. I've gone ahead to cut out a pieces of band. The wideness of this band is 5 inches. All right, now the length is the length of the waist we have. Now to join our band, we'll pick it the two edges like this, the two front facing each other, and then we'll go ahead and join it together by 1/2 inch. So guys, I've gone ahead to join it, and this is what we have. Can you see? Now the next thing we will do is to bring our band. Now for the band, the length of the band we are going to be working with is going to be 24 inches, right? Okay, now for that 24 inches, these 24 inches can serve from sizes 7 to size 14. In fact, this pants that we did is going to serve for size 7 to size 14 because of the length. So we're going to join the elastic band just the way we joined the band for our trouser, just like this. We'll go ahead, run a stitch on it. By the time we run a stitch on it, we bend it down like this and then run another stitch on it to avoid it losing. Okay, so this is how we will be joining our band. First of all, join the stitch like this. Okay, by the time you double stitch it, make sure you double stitch it in a way it's not going to lose, so you can run the stitch on it as many as you can, and then we'll go ahead and bend it like this. You can see the way I bent it, and then you will now still run a double stitch on it. You can sew as much as you can. Now we're going to pick our fabric band and the elastic band, put the elastic in between the fabric. Okay, you can see what I did here. Now this is the right side of the fabric, and then we are going to go ahead and close it up like this. So you want to make sure that when you are sewing this, you do not run a stitch on the elastic itself, rather you run a stitch on our Ankara fabric. Okay, so this is what we are going to do, sew it around, and when you are sewing it, please do well to pull it by the time you're stitching. All right, so after running a stitch, the next thing we're going to do is that we are going to come here. Now this one I'm doing is for those of us that would want to be attaching a rope at the center of our elastic. Now for me, I came down by 1/2 inch. Now this 1/2 inch, I'm going to sew it around, and when you're sewing, please do not forget to pull it out. Okay, so guys, after running a stitch on it, this is what we have. All right, now that 1/2 inch, I did it in two places. Now at this center here is where we are going to be attaching our adjustable rope. Now we're going to go ahead and bring our pants, the right side of our pants. Now when you're doing this, you want to identify that joining that we did at the waistband before attaching our elastic band inside. Now when you identify it, you're going to place it at the front crouch, directly on top of the front crouch. Now we're going to go ahead and attach this band on our pants. Now when you're attaching it, you want to make sure you are pulling it in a way this elastic band is going to go around the waist of our pants. Okay, so guys, like I said before, make sure you pull it out very well so that the elastic we have can go round. Okay, so my loves, I've gone ahead to attach our band to the pants, and I also hemmed the base by 1 inch, and this is what we have. All right, and then at this other point here, this is the elastic. So you can see now this pants can serve for size 7 to size 14 because of the wideness and then the waist and the waistband. All right, so this is what we have. Now I also went ahead to cut out a pieces. This is the one that is going to be serving for our adjustable, in case if you want to adjust your pants. Now the length, depending on the length you want, mine, I did it 54 inches. All right, now to attach this, we are going to go ahead at that center. That was why I said we should make sure we get the center of our band. We're going to just go ahead and just open it up a little, just like this. You see what I'm doing here? So after opening it up, we are going to now go ahead and pick up this rope, this our stripe, take a septum pin and then pass it through just the way we pass any other rope to our clothes, and then we're going to put it at the center of this band. Remember, we ran a stitch, 3 different stitches, so that third one is where you're going to put the band to. Please make sure it's at the center. Now after passing it at this mouth here, you can decide to tie it just the way I'm tying it here, or you will go ahead and run a stitch on it. Now with this rope, your pants can be adjusted, it can be adjustable. So guys, that's basically it for the cutting and sewing of this our jumbo Ankara pants. If you find this tutorial helpful, please do not forget to click on the subscribe button. If you're yet to subscribe, turn on your notification bell so that you'll be notified on our next tutorial. Please do not forget to leave a comment. Please do not forget to share this tutorial so that it might get to someone who might find it very, very helpful. And then please, the most important thing, please do not forget to go green. Do not litter your pieces. Thank you so much for watching. I will be seeing you guys on our next tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye for now.